All right, good evening. Time is now 5:30, and we'll call this February 22nd meeting of County Council to order. Begin with an invocation by Councilwoman Anderson, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. All those able to stand.
Let us pray together. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on our way. We come to you this evening as we meet here in this assembled place, asking for your guidance and your presence. As we deliberate over the concern and the business of Lawrence County, we ask that you give us sufficient wisdom and knowledge that we may be able to discern what is right for the majority of the people who live here, and may what we do be pleasing for them and pleasing in your sight. We also ask for forgiveness of our many sins. And I also pray for world peace. We are at a place, I've heard talk of wars and rumors of wars, but we are at a place, Lord, where we need you, and I ask for your mercy and your grace, and especially on the young men and women who are trying to serve us at this time. And when we leave this place, I ask that you be with each and every one of us as we go to our next destination. Take us there safely. This is your servant prayer.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We have a short agenda tonight, so we'll try to get y'all out of here as quickly as possible. For those of you who this is your first one, congratulations, they will not always be like this. First, we'll call for the approval of the minutes. Approval of the agenda. One thing to note on 8A, new business, the tax number is incorrect. It should be 340 instead of 341. It is correct in the submission in the back, but just for clerical note, that tax number is 340. All right, with that one adjustment, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Rankin, second by Ms. Clark. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. 7-0. Next, we'll call for the approval of the minutes from our last council meeting on February the 8th.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Motion by Mr. Carroll and a second by Ms. Anderson. Are there any additions or deletions to the minutes? And I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of approval of the minutes from the February 8th regular meeting, please raise your right hand. 7-0. Next, we move into, there are no council reports. Next, we move into old business, council submissions on county boards and commissions. I do believe we have one, and I'll call on Mr. Trill to go over that list.
Chairman, on the Parks Committee, I'd like to nominate Harold Nichols. Harold is a former football coach at PC College and is currently the executive director of the YMCA and intimately involved in matters of recreation for our end of the county. And I just think that he and Andy will make a good pair, and I'd like to put his name in nomination.
All right. Well, that has been nominated. I need a second coming from the council member. Do we vet Harold real good before we put this nomination? I'm just kidding. I think it will be an asset to the Park Rec and Tourism Board, and we look forward to having him For purposes of recording, we will take a vote. All those in favor of approving this nomination, please raise your right hand. 7-0. I don't see what this is seeking, but you'll all congratulate them on all their pass. Next, we move into public hearing on ordinance 915. Before we do that, I will call on the county attorney to go over any final changes to that ordinance.
There was only one minor change, Mr. Chairman, council. We had tried to frame the beginning of the pandemic and the January 22nd cutoff date, and it just got confusing. So we took that out. That anybody employed by Lawrence County as of January 22nd would receive the premium pay. So that was the only change.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Trentz. The time is now 5:36. I will open the floor for public hearing. If you'd like to speak on ordinance 915 premium pay, please step forward and state your name. Seeing no one, we will now close public hearing and move on to third and final reading of ordinance 915. One thing I would like to note before we vote, I saw it printed wrong in multiple news outlets across the county, and I think it might have been a misspoke or misinformation, but the dollar figure of disbursement is $1,500 for part-time and $3,000 for full-time. I've read in several papers that was at $3,500, but the ordinance has been $3,000 from day one. That was not changed. That was the original motion that was made the first go around. I did want to clarify before we take that vote. That being said, I will now take a motion to approve third and final reading of ordinance 915.
Motion to approve ordinance 915. Second.
Motion by Mr. Rankin, second by Mr. Carroll. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those opposed?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I like for the record to reflect that I'm not against pay for the employees, but I believe in a prioritized order. I would like to have addressed some of the needs of each department and some of the needs of each employee to make sure that we are meeting the goals and objectives for the county. And I just felt like it was just too fast to do that when we had just received those funds, and we have lists of items each department have been asking for years, and we have not been able to address them. And I wanted to address those needs before we start doing assembling money out to the employees, since we had already given and already was working on compensation plans for our employees.
I'll ask that the clerk record those comments in the minutes. That being said, the motion passes 6-1. Councilwoman Anderson in opposition. All right, next we'll move on to new business. We have a variance appeal that has been submitted to council. Taking time to take a look at that. I'm going to call on the county attorney to go through this with us.
Sir, Mr. Chairman, council.
Ms. Anderson says slowly, please.
There was a lot of questions and not much.
I'll try to bring it to a simplistic conclusion for everybody. One of the documents that you have in your file looks like this. If you look at that first, it'll make a lot more sense as I move forward. You see the dotted line through the middle of that parcel there. You can't see very, or maybe not real clear. Right there at the road, you see lot 11 and lot 12. And looking at the historical aspects of this property, somewhere in the late 1950s, a subdivision plat was approved for a bunch of lots in that area. The lots retained their, for the most part, their integrity, and those that were combined for tax purposes into one parcel number retain the dotted lines. If you see right at the bottom of that same exhibit, you see 340-01-01-006 with a dotted line through. Essentially what that tells me, and in researching this, is that those lots didn't disappear. Those lots still remained lot 11 and lot 12. If you look then to the reason that the variance was not granted, it dealt with the lot, and the, I think, misconception is that the parcel number that was assigned by the assessor's office dictated that it was one lot, which is not the case. They're two individual lots. They were also surveyed, and the survey recorded in 1998. In both instances, that would predate ordinance 910. The purpose of ordinance 910, which is what the variance request was made on, deals with newly developed lots. Lot 11 and lot 12 existed. So neither one were newly developed lots. Now, had lot 11 been cut in half, that's a newly developed subdivision of property. As it stood on the record, those lots, lot 11 and lot 12, existed ever since the original survey was recorded back in the late 50s. And then following forward with I think you have a copy of this one, 1998. So two issues there. One is the variance, they were required to ask for a variance because they did not meet the standard of 100 feet on the road. That section of the ordinance would be not applicable in this situation because the lots already existed. It'd be grandfathered as they stand. Because these were not new lots. These were lots that existed and have existed for a number of years. The one thing I would recommend to the council and to the planning commission is that we need to look at kind of rewording some of that area of the ordinance, because I don't think you can find a road straight enough around the lake to find 100 feet of road frontage. Most of them are very curvy and fairly narrow roads. But my recommendation is that basically backing up that there was no necessity to request a variance because the lots already existed. That does not waive any construction requirements on the lot, on lot 11. So they will still have to meet setbacks, sideline setbacks and such things as that. But I think there was just a misunderstanding as to what control did the tax map number control or did the existing lots control. And I think, in my opinion, that it clearly that you would have to go to the fact that they're not subdividing that tax map parcel. That tax map parcel is already subdivided and existed prior to existence of the ordinance. So my opinion is that the appeal would be successful in the sense that there was no necessity for the variance.
So my question on that comment, there was no necessity for a variance. It was council need to take action this evening.
I think just to clarify the record, since there is an appeal for the folks that own it, that I think just from the standpoint of we can note it for the record of what I've said, I don't think it requires any vote. I think we just set aside the appeal because there was no necessity for it. And I'd be glad to submit a memorandum, under my title to back that up to the record.
Does any council members have any questions for Mr. Cruikshanks on this?
I was just wondering, since they had a disagreement about whether it was a one parcel or two parcels, but that's settled.
I don't think there's any question that, I mean, the record clearly shows it's two lots. Even our own GIS says it's two lots.
But they still think it's one lot.
The planning commission, based on the information that they were given regarding the tax map number, a tax map number does not define whether there's 5 lots that have been consolidated for one tax bill. That doesn't dictate whether there's 1 or more lots. The survey that was recorded and has been a record for 60 years plus dictates that. I don't have, I didn't get into school districts. I was there looking at
If you
it.
want to do it, I know this would be the same.
It's on the left hand side of 72 though.
I don't know. I can't speak to that, Ms. Anderson. I was simply looking at the legalities and whether there was a necessity for a variance. Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions? I would like to state that I think there's several members here tonight of the planning commission. I do want to thank them for their service, and I do firmly believe they were acting to the best of their ability with the knowledge and information they were given, and doing their best to uphold the integrity of an ordinance the council just passed a few months ago. But I do think this clarification on what is a lot and what is not a lot definitely shines a new light on this particular request. So if the county attorney is saying that we're good to waive the variance request.
And I'll submit a memo for the file on that to the planning commission and copy to council. And to Edwards. And I'll submit a copy of them also.
Well, if that's the case, I don't know that the council needs to take any further action. That satisfy the property owners.
Yes, sir, to satisfy the building permit office.
Does that satisfy the building permit office?
We'll go with what council says.
Okay, all right. All right, well, that is all we have on the agenda for business. We will now move into public comments. Are there any sign-ups for public comments? Okay, no sign-ups for public comments. We'll move into county council comments. I'll start on my right, Ms. Clark.
No, I just thank everybody for coming out tonight.
Right.
Well, just happy Tuesday and happy 2/22/22 day. Pretty cool. That's all.
That's true.
I just wanted to second Diane's entire invocation.
Yeah. Here.
Yeah, I will say, if you didn't get a chance to see the ambulances parked outside, you need to do that. We were able to get 3 new units for EMS, and they're fantastic looking ambulances. They should be proud, we should be proud as a county of those. So make sure you see those.
I'll second that. It looks good. I'm glad we finally got them in and in a timely manner, because with everything else in this world right now, it's hard to find things. I do want to comment. I believe we've had 2 public hearings, one in Clinton, one in Gray Court, on the new redistricting maps. And for council, I think y'all got new copies of the individual districts on your desk this evening. We will have third and final hearing on the ordinance and public comments at the next council meeting on March the 8th. So anybody that desires to have input publicly, now you can call us anytime, of course, but if you'd like some public input, March the 8th, we will be opening the floor during council session to accept that information. I believe that's all I had. I hope everybody's enjoying the weather, starting to warm up a little bit, and everybody stays happy and healthy.
One note, Mr. Chairman, if council members will stick around, the clerk has a couple of things that you need to sign, particularly regarding the premium pay, so that can be officially implemented. So if you'll stick around and we get your signature on that before you leave. Thank you.
All right. If there's no other business, I will call for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chair.
Motion by Mr. Rankin, second by Mr. Carroll. All those in favor? 7-0.